Season 4, Episode 3, Breaking the Silence. Ethan shared with Amara how scammers use psychological manipulation to gain control over their victims, detailing how scripts evolve to erode trust and create dependency. Meanwhile, Emma and David partnered with Robert Carter, whose stolen images have been used in countless scams, to launch an awareness campaign. As their efforts gained traction, they began to uncover deeper layers of the network, but their work attracted unwanted attention. Ethan sits across from Amara in her office. The atmosphere is calm but heavy, the weight of the conversation evident in Ethan's hesitant posture. "You wanted to know about my childhood," Ethan begins, his voice barely above a whisper. "It wasn't just about survival. It was enduring." Amara nods, her tone gentle. "Take your time. Start wherever feels right." Ethan stares at the floor, then begins. "My mother, she was the loudest voice in the room, and the cruelest. Every day she'd remind me that I wasn't enough. I wasn't smart enough, strong enough, obedient enough. And when words weren't enough for her, she'd use her hands." Amara listens intently as Ethan recounts the story of his arm injury, his voice trembling as he recalls the emotional scars more than the physical ones. "She called it discipline," he says bitterly, "but it was control. She wanted us to be perfect, to make up for everything she thought she lacked. And when we didn't meet her standards, she made sure we felt her disappointment." Amara writes quietly in her notebook. "And your father?" Ethan exhales sharply. "He was silent, always silent, never stepped in, never defended us. It was like he wasn't even there." Amara leans forward. "Do you think that silence shaped your decisions later in life? Your willingness to be part of something you knew wasn't right?" Ethan nods slowly. "When you grow up feeling powerless, you'll do anything to feel in control, even if it's wrong." Emma and David sit in their office at Safe Haven, reviewing the early results of their awareness campaign. "We're getting hundreds of messages," Emma says, scrolling through her phone. "People are sharing their stories, thanking Robert for coming forward. It's incredible." David nods, his expression more cautious. "It's a start, but it's also putting us on the scammer's radar. Look at this." He pulls up an email they received from an anonymous source. "Stop your campaign or we'll expose you next." Emma frowns. "Expose us? What does that even mean?" David shakes his head. "It's a scare tactic. They're trying to intimidate us, but it means we're hitting a nerve." Emma leans back, determination flickering in her eyes. "Good. Let's hit harder." Later that evening, Amara and Ethan continue their conversation. "You mentioned earlier that scams are more than just about money," Amara says. "They're about power and control. Can you elaborate on that?" Ethan hesitates, then says, "It's about creating a story where the scammer is the hero and the victim feels like they're part of something special. Once the victim believes in the story, they'll do anything to protect it, even if it costs them everything." Amara scribbles notes, then asks, "And you, when you started, did you believe in the story you were telling?" Ethan's expression darkens. "At first, no, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. You convince yourself it's just business, that it's their fault for being gullible. But deep down, you know better. You just don't let yourself think about it." Emma and David arrange a meeting with a woman who came forward after seeing their campaign. Her name is Linda, and her story is heartbreaking. "They told me he was a soldier stationed overseas," Linda says, her hands trembling as she speaks. "He sent me pictures of himself, of his family, even his dog. He'd call me his angel. I thought we had something real." David nods sympathetically. "What happened when he asked for money?" Linda swallows hard. "He said his bank account was frozen and that he needed $2,000 to pay for his mother's surgery. I sent it without thinking twice. Then he asked for more, and more. By the time I realized it was a scam, I'd lost everything." Emma places a reassuring hand on Linda's shoulder. "You're not alone. What happened to you isn't your fault, and we're going to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else." Ending for Episode 3. The episode ends with Ethan sharing one final detail from his past with Amara. My mother used to tell me that I'd never be anything, that I'd never be good enough. I think part of me believed her. That's why I went along with the scams. I thought, if I can't be good, maybe I can at least be powerful. Amara looks at him, her expression filled with compassion. Ethan, your story doesn't end there. You're not defined by what she said or what you've done. You can rewrite it. Ethan looks down, his voice barely audible. I want to. I just don't know how. Amara nods. We'll figure it out. Together. Next on episode 4, Rewriting the Script. As Ethan continues opening up to Amara, he begins reflecting on the choices that led him into the scam world. Amara uses her expertise to help him understand the emotional and psychological triggers that shaped his behavior. Meanwhile, Emma and David work to expand their campaign, meeting with more survivors and building a case against the scammers. But as they uncover more stories, they realize the problem is even bigger than they thought. Can the team stay united as they dive deeper into the roots of deception? Find out in The Hook. Episode 4, Rewriting the Script.